Wow, big episode. Lots of things happening.
Good reminiscing, actually, of all that Armageddon stuff. I'm going to miss it. It was on actually on last weekend in Auckland, but that requires going to New Zealand, and I was a bit...
New Zealand.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like going.
No,
I was happy with Melbourne.
Going from the past into the future.
Yeah.
Because to look to the window of the future, you must look to the mirror of the past.
Oh.
200th episode.
Yes.
3 episodes away.
You're kidding.
Yes,
You're
3
going to
episodes
start
away.
waxing.
So everybody in the set, you better listen. 3 episodes. Think of something. Get on it. That's not to you guys really this time. Civ 5, we have a winner.
We do. There's a big congratulations to
Pablo. Yes.
Pablo.
His answer consisted of the sentence, have you ever heard of anybody conquering a people with diplomacy? No. So I thought that was a pretty good explanation of why.
In theory, communism works.
Yeah. All right. We got the Pez contest still. As, thank you to 2K for Civ 5. Thank you to Mindscape for this bad boy. 6 copies. Your fantasy team doesn't have to be soccer players. 11 players, 2 subs. Seems simple.
Very simple. No, I like the soccers, so it's good.
You like the sports ball? As Donald would say. A couple of things, I guess, before we wrap up.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It is now dollar for dollar parity, pretty much, with American to Australian. So start importing.
Yes.
It is really good time to buy. Although eBay, bloody PayPal still giving me 96 cents. Yeah. I don't think so.
Which is crap.
It's just ridiculous.
Crap.
4 cents, man. You know.
And if you use credit cards, you pay 2.5% anyway on most things. So, but still, you're not going to get much better than this for a while. Hopefully, it keeps going up.
Yeah. But I mean, we've never really gone above the American dollar. Only once now. We've gone above it by 0.3 cents. So I'd say just start now, because you know what happened last time? It just crashes.
End of the show. Facebook, forums, Twitter, IRC, live streams. Don't forget them.
Yep.
Online episodes. Kirsty, you're fantastic. I'll see you later.
Thank you, you too.
We will catch you guys next. You don't have to lie. It's okay.
I love you.
I know. It's all right. I bathe in your love.
Aww.
It's like the milk of human kindness. Well, it's that time of the year again, time for NHL, and this is the only time I ever really go out of my way to play a sports game, and NHL 11 is fantastic. It's a really good game. The problem is, NHL 10 was a really good game. So, I don't know, there's a few things that they've changed, there's a few things that they've added, but they probably haven't really added that much. The big thing is probably checking, and for those who don't know, and this is of course directed straight at the editor, checking is when you actually when you either hit somebody or you shoulder barge into somebody or you effectively physically take them out of the contest. And in 2010, it was very difficult to pull off. Well, not very difficult, but it was more difficult. It was a little bit clunky, and it was very difficult to actually hit a decent check. In this, the checks are a little bit more dynamic. Like if you hit them in the side, they fall sideways. If you hit them in the back, they fall forwards. If you hit them low, they kind of not only flip, but they tumble. And I mean, it's really, the dynamic checking really works in this. I mean, the first check I did in the game, I actually put a guy out of the game. He was just passed out lying on the ice while everyone kept playing, which is great. And that's why I love ice hockey. Another thing they have introduced is sticks breaking. So if you go for a massive slap shot, someone checks you, bang, your stick snaps on the ground. You can snap it when you're trying to do a face-off snap. So you've got to run back to the bench and actually get one. So if you're in Be a Promo particularly, you're skating around the ice, you're why can't I hit anything? Oh, that's right, I don't have a stick. So they've introduced that, which happens a lot in NHL. Well, not a lot, but it happens enough. They've introduced the EA Sports Hockey League, which is the online league where you unlock booster cards, and then you play as those players. You add those players to your team, and then you play with them online. So the idea is to keep winning games, earning booster points. Then they have monthly championships and stuff. So that's a great addition to the community, because NHL, while it's a smaller community, it's a very hardcore community. It was very difficult to breach the online if you weren't that good at the game to begin with. I'm okay. I mean, I'd say I'm bordering on decent. But it's the real hardcore nuts, the ones who know the ins and outs of the game, and those ins and outs of hockey in general, who are in it. But in the Sports Hockey League, you can still have a decent game because you can have people of the same kind of rank and tier and with the same kind of deck and play against each other. And it works fantastically. There's a couple of clunky issues. And the big thing is, online, every time you want to upgrade your character, buy stuff at the hockey shop, unlock attribute upgrades and things, you have to be logged online because you can buy those things. And you had to do it in the last one, but you could at least still upgrade without being online. In this, you have to be online to upgrade. You have to be. And it's really crap because, if you've got, say you're downloading something from, of course, a legal source like iTunes, and your bandwidth is being taken up by that program, iTunes, which is the one I'm talking about, You cannot like jump on Xbox Live properly. It just won't connect properly. So that's really annoying. That's probably one of the big things that detracts from it. But other than that, it doesn't do a lot different. It actually feels a little bit slower, a little bit more technical. But whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. It's just a thing. So I'll tell you what, we'll get down to some scores and we'll go from there. Now the graphics. The graphics on this still look really good. Ice leaves its trail. Let's say the one thing I've improved is a little bit of the animations. They're a little less clunky than they were. They still have the habit of like a couple of snaps, like when you'll be doing something and it'll snap into a position, like when you're bracing the boards, which is where you're up against the boards and you've got the puck in between your feet, you're trying to kick it out. That still snaps into place a little bit. So it's a little bit jerky there, but other than that, it looks really nice, and you know the crowd's well animated. Everything about the game looks fairly good, and it really has that extra schmicko presentation to it. Like when you start, you have like the ice blades come in, EA's name pops up. It's this team versus this team, go! So it looks really good. So the graphics on this, again, 9 out of 10, looks great. The sound. Commentary is fantastic. The ice sounds are awesome, like sliding around. When you check someone hard, you hear them grunt, like you actually hear them take them down. They just ugh and pass out. Slap shots, you hear the thing when the goalkeeper gets the puck and he palms it, he puts it to the ground, and holds it so that it's another face-off. He goes, hold it. It's really good. Like the actual crowd sounds are great, and they really pick up. Like if the home team scores a goal, yeah, the crowd goes wild. If the opposing team scores a goal, particularly if they like take the deciding goal, like if you say 2-2 and they score the third goal, boo, like really loud booing. And then when they come out at the end, they're like presenting everybody with their the MVPs of the game. Boo, really good crowd noise, and the commentary really good. Again, 9 out of 10. So it's looking really good for NHL, and that's the thing. It's the last game was really good, and this one's really good. So do you need to upgrade? And that's where we come down to gameplay. The checking has been fixed. So if you play a grinder who's like the tough guys of the league, if you've also got tough guys, but grinders try and wear down the opposing team's players. Tough guys get into all the fights. If you're one of those kind of people where the idea is you check a lot of people, you start a lot of trouble, it's much better. Because that was one thing annoying the last one was you play a forward like a power forward where you use your strength to score goals. And that was okay, but it's just when you're checking, when you're taking people down. The stick thing is really handy. The fact that you can still do all the sliders, so you can turn breaking sticks off. You can turn it back to effectively just an arcade game. You can go to NHL 94 controls still. All of that great stuff that was from 2010 is still in this one. And it's those little additions, and whether the EA Sports Hockey League makes it worthwhile, I don't know. I'll tell you what, I would recommend if you're not a big hockey fan, I mean, if you're a big hockey fan, you probably already picked it up. If you're willing to take a gamble, this is still the best sports game out there, and that includes the awesome Pro Evo. But if you're not, I'd say pick up a copy of the old one, see what you think, and then make the upgrade based on that. Because it is worth the upgrade for hockey fans, but I don't know whether it is for everybody else. So gameplay again, I'll give it a 9. Now that makes it all up a 9. The last one I think I gave a 9.5 or something like that, and it's not that the other one's necessarily better, it's just that this didn't do a lot more. It did the solid foundations, it did everything great, it just wasn't better than its predecessor. And considering it's had a year to work on the same things, it's still a great game, but if you've got the old one, you've just got to decide whether it's worth the upgrade. But I'll tell you what, bring on 2012, and then we can have like first-person full games. When you do that, you've made the best game ever. I won't buy another sports game once you do that. Keep that in mind. First-person, be a pro. It's worth looking into. Well, here we are at the front of Armageddon, and you're not my usual co-host, are you?
Oh, I kind of am, really.
Well, you are. Okay, certain assets remain the same, but it's safe to say that you've gone into a little bit more effort for your cosplay outfit here at Armageddon than I have.
Well, it definitely is a pop culture convention. I thought, who's more pop culture than Elvira?
Now, it's interesting because a lot of the kids are coming up to you and saying, Morticia Addams? And it's like, dude, Google, come on, man.
Although some people do realise I'm Booberella from The Simpsons.
Which I think is funny because it's referenced off Elvira, of course, yeah.
Well, it's The Simpsons, you know things through The Simpsons. Like, I learned of The Shining through The Simpsons.
Really?
So, yeah. Well, I was quite young when that episode came out. I wasn't, of course, watching The Shining at 7, so...
Yes, well, okay.
Unlike
well,
you.
That's unlike me, of course. And, of course, I've come dressed as Jason from Level 3.
You've been actually stopped by people for photos.
I think I've nailed it. I really do. I think I've nailed it exactly. I think it's perfect. I really do think it's perfect. But we are here at Armageddon, and it's huge, and there is just a crush of humanity. I can't believe how many people have shown up.
And a lot of body odor.
Well, it's funny because you've got a lot of body odor, but some of the cosplay here is fucking pretty damn good.
That's Wonder Woman, and that was pretty fine.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Obviously, we can't show you. We'll just have to describe it. There's legs and stuff. It was
lots
cool.
of skin.
Lots of skin. Which seems to be the theme today. So, but look, as I said, there's heaps of other stuff here. We've had John DiMaggio up already, and I've already cursed. There's a heap of speakers. There's a heap of everybody. It's just going to be crazy. So I guess what do? We just kick it off?
Let's go in and let's go have a look.
Why not?
Fair enough. And one other question quickly. How'd you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 things to glow?
My name's Bill Jarrett. I'm one of the organisers of the Australian Armageddon Expo and the organiser of the New Zealand Expo. I've been running Armageddon since 1995. Armageddon is, when we started, it was a comic and trading card convention, and it was 95, and it was the height of the trading card boom back then. And we called it Armageddon because, and by we I mean my wife and me, whom I don't give enough credit to, because we didn't want to call it Comic Con or Comic something, or because it would brand it as something specifically. And with the show changing, we wanted to make sure that we could move with the times. And our aim has always been to spread the good word, almost like a religion, unfortunately, of geekdom and the fan stuff and anime and comics and sci-fi. The Simpsons dude exists, and he's out there, and trust me, there's a few downstairs. But 99.9% of the people who are just people who just want to have a good time and watch cartoons or watch sci-fi. And look, Star Wars doesn't make $1 billion because geeks watched it. It makes that money because everybody watches it. And this kind of thing should appeal to that kind of audience.
Okay, so we're at Armageddon and we've got a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, Lloyd?
I would not like to introduce myself. You say who I am and what am I, right? I should, you're right, they don't know who I am.
This man is a legend. Of course we know.
Who
You're
am
a
I?
legend.
Who
Lloyd
am
Kaufman,
I?
film director, Troma. Amazing.
And look who's with you, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt? Oh no, it's the Toxic Avenger.
Beautiful man. A beautiful man.
I can't believe it. Anyway, where were we?
How are you fighting Armageddon?
Armageddon, I had difficulty finding it because I live in New York and I went all over New York. I could not find Armageddon, but then I came to Melbourne and I found it.
Here you are.
And the good news is that I'm here, I found Level 3, and it is the best homosexual entertainment I have ever had. And the Toxic Avenger is here, and the good news is that many of the Troma movies are available on Jigsaw, the Jigsaw label, Jigsaw distribution.
Well, I mean, I purchased some. I know Jason's purchased some, so we're fans.
Well, of course. Jason is not just a fan. Jason is an air conditioner.
Yes. Yeah, I did not get it.
That's all right. Troma Entertainment is a 40-year-old, almost 40-year-old independent cinema, out of whose loins have grown the South Park guys. Oliver Stone began with me. Kevin Costner's first movie is a Troma movie. Have you heard of Vincent D'Onofrio, who stars in CSI and The Cell? And he played a character named Lobotomy in the first Turn On, Troma's first Turn On, and now he acts as if he's had a lobotomy. So Troma has nurtured the talents of many people, like the star of Lost, Jorge Garcia. No, Jorge, is that his name? Anyway, the fat guy in Lost. The large hunk in Lost is starring in Tales from the Crapper. That was his first job. And we've done so much for his reputation.
So what can we expect to see next, or what's for the future?
Next I will be appearing in the men's room of the Oak Hotel on Market Street, the Oaks Hotel. I appear there usually around cocktail time, but that's personal. And luckily there are no cameras here, so I don't have to worry. Nobody knows that I'm a gay married man. Now, what was the question?
Hilarious. Gory, sexy. Any other words?
Well, Troma is a kind of a mix master of the genres. You can hear some of our fans out there. They saw Toxie, and the ladies love Toxie. So you mix. Troma is basically the movies we make are movies of the future. We mix social relevance with slapstick comedy. Lots of hard-bodied lesbians and pretty good sex, and a great deal of head crushing and dismemberment, but in a very tasteful way, of course.
Okay, Lloyd, thank you very much.
And thank you to Level 3. And oh, the fans are. I better go. The fans are waiting.
Welcome back, and I'm here with Colin from Silver K Gallery. Welcome.
Very good, Silver K Gallery. Lovely to be here with you.
But it is a super gallery.
It is a fan with superheroes.
With superheroes.
We've got them all. Now we're here at Armageddon.
We are. And what have you got on display here from
We have
Silver
got
K
some
Gallery?
very rare stuff. And this particular piece here, it's the first time it's ever been presented anywhere in the world. Images of Batman, and it's going to be signed by 10 famous Batman artists when it's actually released. So this is the prototype, and Armageddon's getting a world release. Very special.
You hear that, viewers? We are seeing a world premiere of a beautiful piece of art.
Some of the famous guys like Alex Ross and Jim Lee and many others are going to sign the various different images that they've created. So, but there's a lot of other fantastic superhero pieces here as well, as you know, Batman, Superman, and all the characters, and thousands of people are coming through to look.
Have you seen all the Superman and Batman cosplayers running around?
They've been in here all having their photo taken.
Oh, that's incredible.
No, it's a beautiful show, and we've probably got about 60 pieces here on display, and we've probably had 2,000 people through already.
Well, what's been your favourite part of Armageddon so far?
Meeting you.
Oh,
That always goes well, doesn't it?
such a charm.
Well, we get to see so many fantastic people here, a lot of young people, and they're so enthusiastic, and they're all dressed up in their costumes, like you. And no, it's just a fun event. It's a fabulous time to be here.
Now, if people would like to see more of these superhero artworks, where can they find Silver K Gallery?
I've got to send her 10%, haven't I? We're at the Silver K Gallery at 1092 High Street, Armageddon. In fact, at the moment we have a fantastic exhibition on called The Art of Family Guy and Futurama, and Pete Michaels, who's the famous art director for Family Guy, is going to be signing and dedicating all the art at the exhibition.
Just wonderful.
When it was released last year, DJ Hero was one of those games which I don't think people really got to play much of. I mean, sure, if it, like me, I picked up the game when it was stupid cheap, but it was one of those games which was just really kind of fresh, really kind of interesting, and no one really got to play it. So I'm hoping now with the sequel, the creatively titled DJ Hero 2, I'm sure a lot more people will just, get a chance of it, get to play it, because it really is that freaking awesome. The big thing with DJ Hero 2 is a much sort of bigger emphasis on freestyling. I mean, you've got the sample zone stuff from the first game, which is now being changed so it's actually much more organic to the two songs in the mix. I mean, sure, it gets rid of what I would like to think of as the Flavor Flav button from the first game, but, it makes the song sound a little bit better. Coupled with the fact that now there are particular parts in the song where you can kind of, flick between the two songs, as well as, bits where you can actually freely scratch. It adds to a bit more of what I think like a bit more of an immersive experience, and, it really kind of gives you a chance to be a little bit more creative, and the fact you're getting scored on it now, really kind of awesome. It doesn't give you as much control as maybe I would have liked, but then again, what little control they actually give you is still really, really good. And overall, though, it just seems like there's not much more to say about the actual game, because it is, for the most part, the same base game, just with a few kind of awesome additions. But we'll get to that more in a moment. But for now, let's talk scores. Visually, DJ Hero 2 is kind of a little bit underplayed, to be honest. I mean, the first game had this great kind of visual style, which really kind of helped to define just, this crazy kind of wild atmosphere that DJ Hero was. Here, there's nothing really like that. I mean, everything looks kind of bombastic and over the top, but the visual does actually kind of look, the characters looks kind of just boring, to be honest. Even the licensed characters, generally they look good, but it's more a case that sometimes they don't look that great. Like, for instance, Tiesto doesn't really look that great to begin with, but other guys like the RZA look fine. I don't know, otherwise, generally everything looks good. It's just, again, a little bit too underplayed compared to the first game, so in this regard, 7 out of 10. In terms of the sound, DJ Hero 2 just excels. I mean, if you want to compare it to the first game, there's little to no repetition in the actual mixes. There's none of the guitar stuff, which is a godsend. And if you can tolerate a lot of pop, hip hop, R&B, rap, electronica, you're gonna fall head over heels in this. I mean, I love that kind of stuff, and it really speaks to me. I'm considering this as one of the best soundtracks of the year by far. I mean, in particular, there's a Calvin Harris New Order mix, which just sounds freaking awesome. Not much more I can really say about that. Except that no matter how many times you try to mix, kind of, scratch together, just basically put a what was it, a Chameleon in there, a Little John, a Lil Wayne, and even a freaking Soulja Boy song in there, it doesn't work. I'm sorry, you can't make those guys sound good. Otherwise, 9 out of 10. And now we come to the gameplay, and to be honest, DJ Hero 2, I mean, it has some great new stuff. It's just for the most part pretty much exactly the same game. I mean, there's a whole bunch more kind of, online connectivity. I mean, there's a feed that actually tells you, what your friends are doing. And even actually tells you in game now, your friends' scores for particular songs. Oh, by the way, friends of the show, Jamwa, I just beat most of your scores, dude. Just saying. As otherwise, though, the other cool new thing is there's a whole bunch of more multiplayer stuff. I mean, the game takes a lot of cues from Guitar Hero 5's multiplayer, where there's the party play stuff, which is all the drop-in, drop-out co-op stuff. Really works well. And you've also got a whole bunch of multiplayer modes, like, lots of checkpoint battling, all this kind of really neat stuff. I would like to talk more about that, except I never got the chance to play it, and I need another turntable, and, well, I don't know anyone else who has a DJ Hero turntable. But the other interesting thing is singing. Now, admittedly, it's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not the game I would go to sing. It's functional, but it's more or less a case of, you need to kind of know both songs, and because of the actual nature of the game, it kind of can throw you off, especially if you actually particularly know the songs. But again, this isn't a game you want to sing along to. Otherwise, it is mostly the same experience, but to be honest, it still feels really fun, still feels really fresh. Really can't fault it too much in that regard, so in that regard, 8 out of 10. Overall, I'd have to give DJ Hero 2 an 8 out of 10. I mean, just the soundtrack in itself is probably the reason why you should go check out this game. It's just that good. Gameplay-wise, it's mostly pretty much the same, but then again, what rhythm game isn't? And really, though, I mean, if you can ignore kind of the underwhelming visual style, it really is just a great experience. And to be honest, I think this is a series that really does need more love. So check it out, guys. 8 out of 10, definitely worth picking up.
I'm a terrible promo person.
That's what Blue Tack's good for.
Well, it is. It's good for other things as well. Kirsty, how are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. We're here to do another episode of Level 3, as we do
magic.
week to week. It is magic. It is.
It's a kind of magic.
It certainly is. Speaking of magic, Armageddon.
Yes, what a fantastic weekend. If you guys didn't go, you missed out.
It was
unbelievable.
Pretty freaking cool. Like, there was a lot of stuff to be had. I got chased by a witch. I found Yamcha.
I got lots of scary guys taking photos of me in a
great.
DeLoreans. The DeLorean, the time machine, so cool.
Well, we've actually got huge coverage in the show. If you're watching the TV version, 8 minutes now. If you're watching the online version, 16 minutes.
Wow.
And we've still got interviews that we didn't do. We got plenty of stuff that we didn't get a chance to do. We had Lloyd Kaufman.
Colin from the Silver K Gallery.
I knew that was coming. He loved you. Speaking of loved you, Vic Mignogna.
Vic Mignogna. Hello, Vic.
And we also had John DiMaggio, who I refused to interview, but that's a personal story. It's a long. It actually harkens back to the days of Futurama commentaries for me. So.
What about the I Love Toxie?
Which is great because that's Lloyd Kaufman. It gave us those stickers, signed all that stuff, and you got a lot of attention.
Yes.
Really
if you were there, I was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, not Morticia
Adams,
not Boobarella, and I actually had a bat spray tattooed onto my chest for her necklace, and it's actually still there. I sat in the sun for a little bit too long, so it's actually funny. Now a tan line.
It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny, particularly because when I wear dresses like this, one's like.
It's
kind of another
it's kind of like it's an excuse to get away with it. It's like go on, there's a bat there. Oh, there's a bat there. Cool.
Right, didn't see that.
But no, it's a great look, and I think we should all incorporate it next year.
Yeah, well, we should wax it into your chest.
That's an idea. That is an idea. Speaking of ideas,
yes,
because I'm good with these. You're looking for something for next year?
Well, yes, I'm definitely looking for the next convention. What cosplay do I want to do? I'm just looking for some ideas. So
I reckon Space Channel 5 remake. Ooh la la.
Well, I'll definitely think about it, but send through your suggestions either on the Facebook page, the Level 3 emails, Level 3 website.
Kirsty at level3.org.au.
I'm still waiting
send
for
it through. Check it out. Let's go. Go and get in the show proper, like we do.